All right. Angela, thanks very much for showing up. It's
No
a
worries.
small conversation about what happened to you within the last year working together. So tell me, how did it start? What was the struggle that you've been dealing with?
Yeah, I think when we started working together last year, I was in a pretty tough place, having just transitioned into motherhood, and lots of changes were happening on the business side of things. And I wasn't at that point, I would say, very, you know, I was sort of feeling like I was losing my sense of self, of who I was, and especially with all of the things going on, becoming a mom, not having time, not having headspace, all of that. And I think at the time that we started working together, and as I was sharing in the conversation we're having just now, it's really helped me to just fill a lot of the gaps that I feel I needed to be able to fill in order to create the foundations towards the person that I really wanted to show up as in business, in life, in family, as a partner, as a mom, as a business partner, as a friend, as a business owner as well. So yeah, I think overall it's just been a really, really great journey this last year.
And what was three things that you felt you resolved specifically about was there emotions or thoughts that were playing out on and on?
It's a good question. I think one of the biggest things that I was able to resolve was around this doubt of whether I was good enough to be doing what I'm doing. And a lot of that was inner voices. And I talked about this thing of imposter syndrome before, that a lot of it's just to do with, self-doubt. But yeah, it was definitely something that was rearing its ugly head very often. And it was, I guess, really just like being able to address some of the root causes of that and the fundamental things around that, but also apply tools to be able to put that into action and start doing it to overcome it. So that was definitely a big one. I think the other part was just being able to step out of where I was and, show up in a better capacity, I suppose, in the areas of around love and leadership, both in business and also in life, with my family. I really wanted to do that because that was important to me, especially for my daughter. I really just want to totally fill her up with love.
Yeah.
At the same time, I want business to be a success. So there were lots of like big goals that I had, which I knew I needed to have, fundamental things in place. And, my core values, I needed to both really, really get them rooted, but also be able to, just like live those values as well on a day-to-day without feeling like I was losing myself, and which is very much where I was.
And looking back, just a question I never asked. Would you have believed that so much change would come within 12 months?
On the personal side, it's pretty hard to believe. I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy where I am at the moment. I feel like everything is aligned. It's the life balance, it's the relationships, it's the love in my life, it's the business, and all the things, all the dynamics around the business, and all the energies around the business. It's actually going just really, really well. And yeah, I'm very happy where I am at the moment.
Wonderful. One last question. If somebody's sitting on the fence, not knowing, running, exhausting, not knowing how to go about and what to do, and there are gaps in, emotions or leaks, what would you suggest to this person or business owner?
Yeah. I would say, firstly, recognize if you are really in that place of pain, pain and struggle. I know that for me was a big sign for me to put my hand up and get the help I needed. But yeah, I think, don't feel like you need to get through this alone. I think very often we either want to either prove to ourselves that we're strong enough to be able to deal with whatever comes our way, or we maybe don't feel like it's enough of a problem to have to get help, or different things. But all I can tell you is asking for help was definitely one thing that really turned things around massively for me. I think within a couple of months after I did that, it already manifested in a lot of positive changes, just in the way that I was able to show up, set boundaries, be more assertive around different areas, and create the space I needed to come back to who I was. So definitely listen to yourself, and if you are in that place, and yeah, you know, if anything, just ask for help, reach out, have a conversation, and even if it doesn't lead to anything and it just leads to you realizing that you're okay, that's great, but at least be open to that.
And thanks very much. I really loved working with you, and I hope we will have more business helping others to get their offer right. To get those
Absolutely.
sales in as soon as possible, so the struggle won't start, and have their headspace all right. And
Absolutely. It's
that's
been
gonna be.
a real pleasure.
Thanks very much. Beautiful. See you later.